Hey. All right, I see you guys. Welcome. All right, give me a little shout out in the chat. You guys can turn your videos on and talk with me for a minute. I want to make sure you guys can hear me. I know some of you aren't in the room yet. I see Sam. Let's see, who else is here today? Hey, Sam, what's up? Can you hear me okay? Okay, all right, good. All right, my husband's here. Tuning in from Turkey. We have an international student today, y'all. That's kind of fun. All right, so let me just make sure you guys can see my mat. Okay, turn that down a little bit. Okay. Okay. There's my hunky husband right there. He's ignoring me. All right, let's see. Margie's here. Welcome, Margie. I see two Margies. Margie, are you signed in on two devices or do I have two Margies in the class? It doesn't matter. You can stay. Don't panic if you're worried about it. Sheila, I see you. Welcome to class today. Awesome. We're going to get going in 3 minutes. I'd love to start on time. So we're going to get going in 3 minutes. And again, if you're having issues with your audio, I know there's some people in class who can hear me. So make sure that your volume is all the way up. Make sure that you're plugged into a speaker where you can hear me speaking. I have a ton of people here today. That's okay. I'm just glad to see the people who I can see. Let me see, can I see anybody else's video here? No. That's okay. You guys don't have to practice your video on. It is nice for me to see you. We're getting more. Oh, Debbie, welcome. Yeah, good. Margie, thank you for a little shout out there in the chat box. Hey, Debbie, I see you. Welcome to class today. Can you hear me okay? Okay, good. I see you smiling. Okay, good. Awesome. All right, let's see here. I am going to, let's see, do like this. Okay, one of the things that they're having us do is I'm muting everybody in class just in case somebody accidentally unmutes, and then your screen is going to flip over to the person making the most noise. And so I've muted you all, but if you want to chat with me in the chat box. I see more people jumping in. Anne's here. Welcome, Anne. Terry's here. Welcome, Terry. See, Larissa joined us. So good to have you guys. Okay, y'all, if you're from Colorado, we have lifted the stay-at-home ban, sort of. So that's something to celebrate today. Like we're on the up and ups. Hopefully we'll be able to practice in class soon. This is working out okay. All right, let's do this. I'm going to head back to my mat. Again, if you're just joining in, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad to have you guys here. I hope that you're having a nice weekend. It is glorious weather here in Colorado. I know sometimes people tune in from out of state, but it's gorgeous. I'm going for a hike this afternoon. I'm excited about. Okay, come and join me on your mats. All right, now I'm going to kind of crawl back here to my mat. Okay, my husband's in class today, so if he can't hear me, he's going to text me if we have any problems. But this is a feel-good flow. It is kind of middle of the road as far as difficulty goes. It might even be a little bit on the easier side as far as practice goes today. However, one of the things that I love to tell my students in my classes is, if you can't do what I'm doing on my mat, that's okay. You can take a child's pose at any time. You can come back to downward dog or even a seated position until you're ready to jump back into practice. This is a 60-minute practice today, and if you're not used to practicing for a full 60, just take breaks as you need to. It's not a problem. One of the most difficult things for me teaching online is I can't see my students, and I can't see what it is that you're doing with your body. So if at any time something hurts or is tweaking, you need to listen to your body and stop doing whatever it is you're doing, and maybe watch the video a couple times until you feel like, oh, that's what I was doing wrong. I had my foot in the wrong position or something, okay? All right, so let's find a seated position on your mat. Find a cozy seat. I say a cozy seat because I want you to be comfortable. So if that means sitting up even on a little pillow or a little block or something that you have under your hips, go ahead and do that. So start off, hands on your knees, nice and tall through your spine. As you're getting long from your sits bones to kind of the backs of your ears. I want you kind of picking up, getting long through your back. Take a big inhale, and on your exhale, go ahead and close your eyes. Start to get tuned in to your energy, to your body, how your body feels on your mat. And start to tune your awareness into what your energy is like. You might just be rolling out of bed. You might be almost midday right now if you're like me. I love to wake up and get going, and so for me, I'm just settling in. I'm just feeling my body and my energy just soften and relax right here on my mat. Never any judgment, just noticing. All right, I always love to start off my practice taking a few really big breaths to start to deepen my breathing so that I can sync my movements much easier with my breath. So on an inhale, take your fingertips out towards the side and sweep them up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, pull your hands through midline, resting your thumbs on your sternum. Settling in and feeling the base or the bottom of the exhale. Let's do two more of those. Reaching, extending fingertips, sweeping through space up towards the ceiling. And exhaling. Hands to prayer. Let's do one more of those. Inhale, reach fingertips out. Filling all the way up. And exhale, pulling heaven down, resting thumbs at your heart space. Beautiful. Relax your hands back to your knees. Blink your eyes open, and let's come to all fours, tabletop position on your mat. So hands are under shoulders, knees under hips. And we're just gonna start off in cat-cow. So inhale, lifting your chin, lifting your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Exhale, rounding through your spine, pulling your belly button up towards the sky. Go ahead and just move at your own pace. Really taking your time and feeling the full inhale, full exhale of each breath. Good. Coming back to neutral position, tuck your toes, lift your hips, come into downward facing dog. And just take a moment here to get settled in this pose. Again, feeling the points of contact that you have with your mat. You can pedal out your dog if you want to, bending one knee at a time. I love to do this for my first downward facing dog of the day. Getting kind of shifty in my hips, creating space and length through my spine. You want to smooth your shoulder blades down your back and make sure your feet are hip width apart. All 10 toes are facing forward. The bottom of your exhale, bend your knees and just step towards the top of your mat in a forward fold. Again, we're just gonna hang out here. You can even heel toe your feet to the side edges of your mat to make your feet wider than hip width apart. And just let everything soften and hang, letting gravity do its work to create space between each vertebrae in your back. Relax the muscles in the back of your neck and let your head just hang. If you can't touch the floor, it's totally fine. Use your exhale to help soften the muscles of your back body. Good, bring your feet back to hip width apart, and then place your hands on your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees and come into chair pose. Sink your hips, reach your fingertips up overhead. And then inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer position, heart center, Samasthiti. Take a moment right here to ground. We're going to flow through some variations of Surya Namaskar A. Here we go. Inhale, reach. Fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips. Coming all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to plank pose. Inhale and plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Come all the way down to your mat. Roll your shoulder blades down your back. Inhale, lift. Little baby cobra here. Maybe you're down here. It's totally fine. Exhale. Come back into tabletop and then into downward facing dog. Find stillness in this pose. Bottom of your exhale, bend your knees and step towards your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Reach your eyes, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, let's do that again. Inhale, reach. This time moving just a little bit faster. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to plank, coming all the way down to your belly, however you want to get there. Or chaturanga, you can hover here. Inhale, lift. Upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. Again, come to a place of stillness in your dog pose. Smoothing your shoulder blades down your back, lifting your sits bones towards the ceiling. Bottom of your exhale, bend your knees. Step or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Root your rise, coming all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Exhale, sink your hips, coming into chair pose. And exhale, pull it down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Come into chaturanga on your exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pull it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, come into a lunge. Ground your back foot for warrior one. Hips are square to the front of your mat. Exhale, hands down. Flow through your vinyasa. Or take downward facing dog. Inhale, lift into cobra or upward facing. Exhale, hips back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, pull it through. Into a lunge, round your back foot. Warrior one. Take your time, hands down. Back into your lunge. Again, flow through your vinyasa or meet me in downward facing dog. The bottom of your exhale, bend your knees, step or float towards your hands, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Hands to heart center, Samasthiti. Then bring your hands by your thighs into mountain pose, Tadasana. All right, from here, ground through your left standing leg and come into tree pose. So you can do kickstand tree right here. You can do shin tree, or you can do thigh tree, but don't place your foot on your knee joint. Your knee doesn't bend to the side. So here we are, tree pose. Is my head getting cut off? Can you guys see me okay? Okay, tree pose. Hands to prayer. You might be a little bit wobbly if you're on carpet, and that's okay. We welcome all the wobbles. When you're ready, reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling in whatever arm position you want. If you want cactus arms, straight arms. Keep your gaze soft and on your drishti or your focal point. I'm swaying here. I'm a swaying tree. All right, hands back to prayer, and take your foot and place your ankle on your knee. Here. And start to sink your hips back and down so you're coming into Ekapada Galavasana prep. So from the side, this is what it looks like. I've got my figure four legs, hands are at heart center. And I'm coming here, just balancing in Ekapada, grounding. I'm focusing in on grounding my energy through my standing leg. Good, now take your right leg and wrap it around so you're matching knees. And if you want, you can actually get your little toes on your right foot over to kind of kickstand on the side to help you balance if you need to. If you've got really bendy legs, you can wrap your right leg around. That's not my favorite thing. So I just like to kind of hang out right here in eagle. Bring your arms out to the side and wrap. Let's see, it's going to be right arm underneath left arm. So your right elbow and your right knee are closest to each other. Start to sink your hips a little bit lower. Coming down as far as you can while being comfortably challenged. Okay, unwrap your arms and unwind your leg and come into warrior three. So you're still balancing on that leg. If you need to take a break, just bring your right leg to the floor. Okay, or bring your hand to the floor like me. All right, so from here, balance on your standing leg. You can bring hands to heart center, or you can just bring one hand up, but really lift everything in your back body up towards the ceiling. Lift, lift. You're wobbling like me, that's okay. All right, and on an inhale, come up to Tadasana, back into mountain pose. Feel the energy difference between right and left sides. Woo, I kind of need to pedal it out a little bit here. All the muscles on my left side are talking to me here on my left side. Okay, bring your feet out to the side edges of your mat. Sink your hips down into Malasana squat. Now this is where a little pillow or a little boost or a block is helpful underneath your hips. If you can't get down into this position, it's totally fine. I couldn't get down into this position either for a while. So that's it, just take a block under your bum. And actually today, I'm gonna sit on my block. We're gonna do a twist. So what I want you to do is I want you to extend your right fingertips out towards the seat, out towards the floor, and get kind of the back of your shoulder in towards your knee as much as you can, and then lift your left fingertips up towards the side so that you're making a diagonal with your fingers from left side high to right side low, and start to open towards the left. You're gonna come back to center, and let's do the other side. Left fingertips down, right fingertips high. Good, coming back to center. If you would like to add an arm balance to your practice and take Bakasana, you may. So that's just crow pose. If you want the challenge today, you can just come forward and lift one foot. If you can lift both feet up off the floor, go for it. If not, you can come back into a forward fold. All right, when you're ready, good, I see a couple of you guys going for it, awesome. When you're ready, you can step or float back into your plank, coming into a downward facing dog. Woo. Take a minute to reset. Bottom of your exhale, bend your knees. Step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Come all the way back up. Sweeping your fingertips out towards the side. Exhale, hands to heart center. I'm facing you because we're going to do the tree on the other side. Okay, so ground through your right standing leg this time. Again, kickstand tree, shin tree, thigh tree. Settle into this pose. You can tune in. The word prana in Sanskrit means energy. So you can tune into the rivers of prana that we have in our body. So I feel the energy moving through my standing leg into the floor. I can also feel it moving up and out, my head, my hands, everything. On the top end, it's really fascinating how our energy shifts and helps us to stay grounded, helps us to really lift, help us to calm down. We need to. So if you would like to reach fingertips up, you can do so. If you felt like that was something you did on the other side, you want to try on this side. All right, hands to heart center. Bring your ankle to your knee and start to shift back into Ekapada Galavasana prep. Shifting hips back, grounding through your standing leg. Use your breath to help you stay steady. Okay, come into eagle. Now bring knee on top of knee. Left toes are out to the right side, arms out, and then wrap left arm underneath right. So left elbow is closest to left knee. Again, pulling your hips back. You can use your toes to help you stay steady if you need to. Your left toes. All right, now if you need a little break, take one. Make your way into warrior three. So arms, however you want to do arms. Don't watch me for Drishti today. I'm feeling a little bit wobbly. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes we have wobbles. Balance on your standing leg. I'll turn this way so you can see me. Balance on your standing leg. Arms are wherever you feel comfortable. So they can be out like mine, airplane arms, down by your hips, up overhead, hands in prayer. Good. Inhale, come up and back into Tadasana. Moving as gracefully as you can today. All right, bring your toes out, your feet out to the side edges of your mat. And then shift your hips, sink your hips down into Malasana, Yogi Squat. Again, use your block if you need to. I'm actually not going to use my block this time. And that's okay, whatever you want to do. Let's do our twist here. So we're going to reach left fingertips out this time. We're going to do the opposite side first. Left fingertips down by the floor, right fingertips high, making that beautiful diagonal line with your arms, pulling your heart through. Exhale, hands to prayer. Switching sides, right fingertips down, left fingertips high. Excellent. Exhale, come back to center. And then if you want to try Bakasana crow pose, do it again. You can even, if you don't want to do Bakasana with the arm balance, you can do forward fold. You can take a child's pose. But for those yogis who want a little bit more of a challenge today, come into crow, lifting your feet up off the floor, or maybe just 1 foot at a time. Maybe just get 1 foot up today. Beautiful. Wherever you're at, come into plank pose. And then flow through your vinyasa, or meet me in downward facing dog. Again, use your breath to help you reset, get grounded, feel the points of contact that you have with your mat. Bottom of your exhale, bend your knees. Step towards your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, coming all the way up. Exhale, hands to prayer position. Okay, you guys stay where you're at. I'm going to come to the other side because I want to face you. Okay, so stay right where you are. All right, from here, I want you to step your right foot back into crescent pose. And for today, all 10 toes are facing forward. So don't ground your heel. Pick your heel up off the back of the mat. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands towards the mat. In a lunge position, ground your right hand and twist open towards the left side. Fingertips extending last. You want to stack your ribs, stack your shoulders, and then bring your arm up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Walk your hands around into wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, lift, hands under your shoulders, lengthening your spine from your tailbone to the crown of your head, and then exhale, forward fold. Soften and relax as much as you can. I'm coming up a little bit so that my face is towards you. Use your breath to soften the muscles of your back body and try to get as relaxed as possible through your upper body while you're still grounding and strong through your lower body. You're going to walk your hands back around towards the front of your mat so your left foot is forward in your lunge position. Ground your back foot and windmill your arms open into warrior two. So left foot is forward, coming into warrior two. So my back foot is 90 degrees. Toes are facing out. Heel to arch alignment. And just settle into this pose. So you might want to adjust your feet if they're not wide enough so that your knee in the front is over your ankle. Inhale, straighten your front leg. And exhale, reach. Left fingertips come forward and then come into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Now this is where a block comes in really handy. If you guys practice with a block, you can use a block to help bring your fingertips up a little bit, or you can place your hand on your shin if you don't have a block. If your body doesn't, your fingers don't come all the way down to the end. Or to the floor, I mean. Keep your breath moving. Breathe and breathe. Good, bring your right hand down to the mat, step your right foot forward and come into chair pose. So sink your hips, reaching up towards the ceiling, keeping your spine as straight as you can. And then exhale, twist towards the right side. I like to bring my feet together for a chair twist. So kind of play around with that a little bit and see if you like that too. Inhale, back to center. And then exhale, twist towards the left side. You can hook an elbow, you can hook a forearm over your knee. For today, I'm just keeping my hands in prayer position. And unwind back into chair. And then inhale, come up to a stand. All right, we're gonna do another tree. Ground through your left leg. Come into tree pose. I'm facing you, just so that you can see what I'm doing. You can stay where you are on your mat. All right, shift once again into Ekapada, Galavasana. We're gonna do the same thing that we did in the first sequence. We're gonna move into eagle after this. And if you can, bring your fingertips towards the floor here. You gotta have a lot of space in your hip. You can do that. If you don't have that kind of space, just stay up here. That's fine. But if you can bring your fingertips towards the floor and balance here, we're warm enough now to do that. All right, coming up, coming into eagle, cross your legs, arms out to the side, wrapping right arm underneath left. And again, hinging from your hips, try and get your elbows down by your knees. I'm taking a much bigger forward fold here in my eagle pose this time around. Stay with me. Even when it's uncomfortable, stay with it. You need to take a little break, take one, but come back. All right, unwind, untwist, come back into warrior three. For me right now, I'm keeping my hands on my hips just because I mentioned I'm feeling a little wobbly today. So do what you need to do to help you to stay balanced in this pose. All right, drop your back foot, come into warrior one. Inhale, reach. Grounding through the pinky edge of your back foot. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Take your vinyasa or just meet me in downward facing dog. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pull it back. And stay in your downward dog for 2 breaths. I'm gonna switch sides of my mat again, so I'm facing you. The bottom of your next exhale, bend your knees. Step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, coming all the way up. Exhale, hands to purr. Good. All right, step your left foot back into crescent pose. Keep your heel up in the back, and then reach. Take your time. Exhale, hands to the mat. Plant your left hand and twist towards the right side. Fingertips last. Exhale, hands down, ground your back foot. Actually, let's come into, we did a wide-legged forward fold first. So come into a wide-legged forward fold. All 10 toes are facing the side edge of your mat. Hands under your shoulders, lengthen from your tailbone to the crown of your head, and then forward fold. This time, if you want to hold on to big toes, if you have that range of motion, you can grab onto your big toes if you want to. Or you can just place your hands underneath, wherever's comfortable. Good, release. Now take your toes in the front, back to facing forward. Back toes are still out 90 degrees, and then windmill, open into warrior 2. So your right foot is forward, arms are parallel towards the earth. Softly gaze over your right fingertips and settle in. Feel that energy moving from your hands into the earth. Flowing through your legs, out your feet. Inhale, straighten your front leg, and exhale, start to reach and extend right fingertips forward into Trikonasana triangle pose. I don't know if you guys have kids, but my kids there's a little kerfuffle happening upstairs. Just keep your breath moving. It's all good. All right, unwind, bring your hands to the mat and step forward into chair pose. Sink your hips. Reach your arms up overhead into chair, and let's take a twist towards the left side. Again, I've kind of heel-toed my feet towards the center of my mat, so they're touching. And I've just got my elbow hooked on my knee. You can come up and do forearm hook on your knee if you want to. Good, inhale back to center. And then exhale, twist towards the right side. Beautiful. Release. Come all the way up on an inhale to Tadasana, mountain pose. Hands by your hips. Take a moment. Settle in. All right, tree pose. Last tree. I don't know about you guys. I have 4 kids. I didn't get a quiet one in the bunch. My youngest one was a little bit quiet, but all the rest of them. All right, settle in, get grounded. It's interesting teaching this practice today. Inhale, reach your fingertips towards the ceiling. There's this interesting dichotomy I'm noticing today in this practice of effort and ease. There's a lot of big work happening. Even in this pose, there's big work happening to balance, but at the same time, there's ease in the stillness of the pose. There's also effort, I guess, in the stillness of the pose too. Where your energy, focusing in on what your energy is doing, helps us to stay really grounded. There's so many great analogies to life with yoga. One of the reasons why I love yoga so much. All right, Ekapada Galavasana. So left ankle on your right knee and start to shift your hips back. Again, if you can do the floor with your fingertips, reach down. You can kind of wrap the toes of your left foot around your upper arm bone on your right side, if you can. If you can't do that, that's okay. The nice thing is our flexibility over time improves, our balance improves as we work on it. I was not able to do this 5 years ago. So be patient with yourself. All right, inhale, come up into eagle. Wrap your left leg on top of your right, arms out. And then bring your left arm underneath right and start to sink down. I'm bringing my elbows in towards my knees. In this crooked tree eagle pose here. Feeling my body all twisted. Keep your breath moving to help you. Just noticing I was holding my breath. Keep your breath moving. All right, unwind. Reach your foot back into warrior three. I'm shifting sideways so you can see me. Lifting everything in your back body up towards the ceiling. So lift the back of your thigh, calf muscle, heel. Lift the backs of your wrists, upper arm bones. Wow. And do the best you can. Like I said, I'm just really wobbling today. It's all good. It's all good. All right, drop your back foot as gracefully as you can and come into warrior one. Reaching your fingertips out and up towards the ceiling. Your hips are square to the front of your mat. Exhale, hands down. Beautiful job. Let's flow through a vinyasa. Come into downward facing dog. And bring your knees to the mat. Toes touching the back, knees go wide. Bring your hips to your heels and come into child's pose, Balasana. Your forehead should be on your mat. Fingertips are extended, reaching forward, softening. Good, inhale. Back into dog pose. We're gonna do a few pigeon hip openers here. So we're gonna come into dog pose to get into pigeon. So lift your hips. Inhale, right leg rises. If you wanna take a twist here and open to the side, you may before coming into pigeon pose. So I'm just bending my knee, looking under my right armpit. Inhale, back to square. And come into pigeon pose. So I'm bringing my knee and my ankle bone up towards the front of my mat. If this is bothering your knee, I want you to flex your foot on the right side. Use a blanket or a pillow or a block under your right hip if you need one. Let's start off in king pigeon. Bring your hands back. This beautiful, nice back bend, heart opener here. hip opener. Everything in the front opener. And then exhale, come down to your forearms and come into sleeping pigeon. So whatever that looks like for you, if you can make a little pillow out of your forearms and rest your forearms on your arms, please do so. If you're up here like me on your forearms, this is a great place to hang out too. If this is too much for you, you can just come forward a little bit in your forward fold, resting on your hands, okay? So whatever your body is capable of, it's fine. It's fine, it's all good. Again, find that balance between effort and ease. Really leaning into the ease part of things, using your breath to help soften the big muscles of your hip, where you're feeling the stretch, where you're feeling that big sensation. Use your breath to soften the muscles of your face, the muscles of your shoulders and back body. All right, inhale, come up, make your way back up to your hands. You're down on your forearms. And then I want you to reach around, bring your right hand more in the center of your mat. Reach around with your left arm to grab your back foot. If you can. If you can't, and you have a sweatshirt, or if you've got a belt at home, maybe because you do yoga by yourself, you can use a strap back here to bring your foot forward if you don't have the mobility to reach your foot. You can even grab your pant leg if you want to. Get creative. Or you could just not have your foot and just do the twist to the left side. That works too. All right, I'm kind of in this twist, opening to the left side. What I'm going to do now is shift my shoulders forward so they're square to the front of my mat to get even more, to create even more space in my quadricep and hip there. So if you've got the capability to shift your shoulders forward to square off towards the front of your mat, do so. It creates massive opening there. All right, gently release. Don't let your foot flop. Gently release your back foot. And shift yourself slowly back into downward facing dog. So for me, that means scooting my back knee closer to my hips. And then just making my way back slowly and gently into downward facing dog. That was a lot of work, so take your time. I always love to notice the difference in energy in the two sides of my body after I've worked a sequence through on one side. Okay, inhale, left leg rises. Open your hip up towards the left if you like that. Looking under your left armpits. Don't dump into your right shoulder. Beautiful, square off and bring your shin forward into pigeon pose, left side, left leg forward. Again, if this bothers your knee, keep your left foot flexed. Find a little cush if you need to under your left hip. All right, hands close to your foot, close to your knee, and let's inhale, open up through your chest. And then exhale, come forward into sleeping pigeon. Again, make the adjustments that you need to and just come down to a place where you feel comfortably challenged. That's almost an oxymoron, I suppose, right? Comfortably challenged. So use your breath, again, to soften and open and release any tension that you have in your body. In the places that are obvious and the places that are not so obvious. Good, inhale, hands back under your shoulders. Bring your left hand to mid-mat, reach your right hand back or a strap, and lasso or hold on to your back foot, opening up towards the right side. So you're gonna twist open. All right, bring your shoulders square to the front edge of your mat, as square as you can. Good, release your back foot gently and make your way into downward facing dog. Slowly, slowly, move slowly. Be very gentle with yourself. All right. Then just take a moment. Get to a place of stillness in this pose. The only thing that's moving is your breath. Exhale, come on down to your knees. Make your way to a seated position on your mat. All right, let's start off. Let's see, what do I need? I need a twist. So let's actually start off in Janeen Shirshasana first, and then we'll add in a twist. So bring your left heel in towards your hips. Right leg is extended. Square your shoulders towards your foot. Inhale, get long through your spine, and then exhale, come forward. Walking your hands down your leg. Maybe holding a foot, maybe using a strap to lasso your foot. Or maybe just bringing your hands gently and placing them on top of your leg. All right, inhale, come up. And bring your foot on the outside edge of your left knee. So you're in this kind of pretzel position here. There you go, you guys got it. Okay, inhale, lift. And exhale, twist towards the right side. I like to hug my knee, and you can hook an elbow over your knee if you want to. Place your left hand by your hips, twisting towards the right, keeping your right hip grounded on your mat, and you're just revolving around your straight spine. Exhale, unwind. And switch sides. Janeen Shirshasana, left side. Right knee is bent. Square your hips. Square your shoulders over your left leg. Inhale, get long, and exhale, forward fold. This is an interesting move because it's a twist, it's a forward fold, and it's a lateral stretch. If you can get your right arm over on the outside of your leg somewhere, you're also getting a nice lateral stretch there. Not very often that you have all three of those things. We don't know. This is in a back bend, so that's the last pose. Option movement for your spine. So there's 3 out of the 4. Inhale, lift. Bring your left foot over the outside of your right knee. Hug your knee in towards your chest and twist towards the left side. Staying grounded through your right hand, right hip. Sorry, left hand, left hip. Exhale, unwind. All right, let's make our way onto our backs. For a few more things. If you have a block, grab your block. If you don't have a block, do not worry, okay? If you have a pillow or something close by, you might want to use that, but I'll give you cues if you don't have any props. That's totally fine. So come on down. You can move your ponytail if you want to. That's gonna bother your head. Bring your heels in towards your hips. And we're gonna start off in some dynamic bridge movements. If you don't like dynamic bridge, just take a bridge and hold it. Okay, I know some people don't like dynamic bridge very much. Place your hands by your hips. I love it because I like syncing my breath with my movement here. So on an inhale, I want you to inhale 4 counts, bring your hips all the way up and your hands to the floor behind your head or over your head. And then exhale, count to 4, bringing your hips and your hands down to the mat. Hopefully meeting on the mat at the same time. Hips and hands hit the mat at the same time. This time I want you to inhale to a count of 5. Inhaling all the way up. And exhaling. So like I said, if you're not a fan of the dynamic movement and you just want a static bridge, just take a bridge at your own pace. This time, if you're following me with the dynamic movement, this time inhale 6. And exhale, come all the way down. We're gonna do 2 more. I want you to count 7 and then count 8. Do it at your own pace. So this time inhale 7, exhale 7, and then inhale 8, exhale 8. All right, and when you're finished, if you haven't finished yet, just finish. When you're finished, I want you to just rest. Hands, one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. And just pause. Bring the soles of your feet together into Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined cobbler's pose. You can keep your hands where they are. One hand on your belly, one hand on your heart, or you can bring your hands by your hips, resting on the floor. All right, if you would like to do legs up the wall while you're here, you can take your block underneath your hips and bring your legs up. See how I kind of rock forward a little bit to get my sacrum in the right spot underneath my block? If you don't want to do this pose, please stretch out into Shavasana. I'm going to keep my eye on the time. So if you do have legs at the wall right now, I will let you know when to remove your block and come into final resting pose or Shavasana. This final sequence that we've done once we moved to a seated position on our mat, so the Janu Shirshasana and the twist and the bridge pose, a dynamic bridge pose, and now legs up the wall, is a really great sequence to do before you go to bed if you're having a hard time sleeping right now. So if you've been experiencing a lot of stress or anxiety and it's affected your sleep, I've talked to a lot of people who have a difficulty right now going to sleep or staying asleep. Maybe they don't have a hard time falling asleep, but they wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning. This is a great sequence to do if you feel like you've been tossing and turning for a long time and just having a hard time settling down. All right, if you do have legs up the wall, go ahead and move the block out of the way and come into final resting pose, Shavasana. You can take a Shavasana in any pose or any position that you want to. Generally speaking, it's arms and legs are soft and open. You can place your hands, the palms of your hands facing into the ground if you want a more grounding experience, or you can open palms facing the ceiling if you want your energy to be in more of a receptive or receiving place. And just feel your energy sinking through your mat, through the floor, and into the earth. All right, if you have time at home to take a longer Shavasana and would like to do so, please do so. Please take as long as you need to in this pose. There is another class that's coming into the Zoom room in about 15 minutes, and I want to give that teacher enough time for her class. So if you're ready to move out of Shavasana, start to wiggle fingers and toes, start to bring the awareness back into your body. Maybe you do a big stretch. Maybe you hug your knees into your chest. I'm going to give you plenty of time to come out of Shavasana, so there's no need to rush. Whatever it is that you're doing, take as much time as you need to, even if it's longer than my cueing. Okay, you are going to want to make your way eventually onto your side. And once you're here, I want you to pause. And again, when you're ready, make your way up into a seated position on your mats. Come into a comfortable position on your mat. Place your hands on your knees. Take a big breath in. And exhale. That's the heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste, my friends. All right, I hope you guys have a beautiful weekend. I hope this is gonna help you to get off to the right start, feeling nice and relaxed. If you want to chat with me, please feel free to chat in the chat box. I love to hear from you guys, particularly my regulars, my students I see all the time. You're welcome, Sam. So glad to see you. Good. You're welcome, Sheila. Thanks, Terry, for coming today. So good to see you guys. Take care. So next week, Shauna's going to be teaching. If you want to stay for the next class, I think Juliet is teaching her class. I believe she normally teaches after me. I could be wrong, but I think there's someone after me today. Actually, you know what? I could be wrong. Check the schedule. Check the schedule. I know they've been cutting back a little bit on the classes. If you need a little extra, go back into the Facebook group. There's a lot of pre-recorded classes that we've done. Some different things going on, HIT classes and other things if you need something later. Make sure you're checking the resource bank. Thank you, Anne. So glad that you were here today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day doing whatever it is you're doing. I woke up this morning and cleaned 4 bathrooms so I could go for my hike today. I could go for my hike and hang with my kids, probably recording a podcast later. All kinds of fun things on a Saturday in quarantine. I'm going to Castlewood Canyon at 2 o'clock for the 83 entrance. If your crew wants to join my crew, it's going to be kind of a crazy time. You'll probably hear us down in the canyon. We're going to have all of everybody plus friends. So join if you want to. Everybody in the community, everybody in my class right now, if you want to join me on the back entrance, go to the farthest parking lot down by where the pavilion is and the bathrooms are off of the 83 entrance. I'll meet you there too. All right, I'm not seeing anybody else chatting, so I'm gonna let you guys go. Like I said, I hope you guys have a beautiful week. Oh, June says, how long is that hike? It's not very long. I mean, my kids do it, and so you kind of have to scamper over some rocks. So depending on your physical ability, it's probably around 2 miles, I'm guessing, just the loop that we do. I might go up on the rim and come back, but if you're with me and you want to make it a shorter hike and circle back to that parking lot, I can totally tell you how to get out of there. It's my favorite place to be. Yeah. See you, June. All right, everybody, take care. Have a blessed weekend, and we'll catch you guys soon. Bye.